Hello, what up my people? Welcome back to my channel once again. So today I'm going to be sharing my trade recap on gold. Starting from Monday 24th November 2025 to um, to Friday 28th November 2025. So 5 trading days. So we're going to start from this particular junction here, where it is 1 day 7 a.m. Now I've actually transitioned my trading pattern or my trading process to probably going through only the higher time frames. Now, why I transitioned into higher time frames is that at some point I was able to crack some code of the right time frame to use for entries on the higher time frame and probably go a little bit lower. Now I use more of 30 minutes time frame and go to 15 minutes time frame for confirmations. Probably candle closure around my liquidity gives me more confirmation to add to my trades, or maybe gives me more precision around that 15 minutes time frame. Normally I do trade around 5 minutes time frame, but now I've seen more precision on 30 minutes time frame and entry at the 15 minutes time frame. So now I'll be starting from Monday um, Monday um, Monday 24th November 2025. On Monday, let me open the session box. On Monday, London session, I didn't see any good trade, but had it been I was on sit that very day, due to my pattern of trading, I trade MSnR mostly, and I trade liquidity sweep also. I would have traded this particular junction here, and it was around 2:30 a.m. That's Asian session. And if I also wanted to trade that, I will wait for the close. I will wait for the sweep of this liquidity. Now I need you guys to understand that gold moves from liquidity to liquidity, liquidity to liquidity. Forget all the things you've known about liquidity and just know that anytime you see gold moving, it has swept one liquidity for it to go for another liquidity. So on the 30 minutes time frame, I would have actually waited for this particular support here. I call this my support. This will be my support. This will be my support. And this will be my liquidity here. So what I will be waiting for is, if I see the sweep of this liquidity, I will be waiting for the candle closure outside this particular support. And the moment I see this candle closure above this support, I will enter the trade. I would have actually held on this trade to this particular zone. But since I didn't catch this zone, I don't chase trades. I don't chase trades. Now let's look at this on the 15 minute time frame and see how it looks. See, MSnR still works, but you need to be very patient. When I say patient, you need to be very, very patient for it to work for you. Yes. So if you look at the 15 minute time frame also, we also have a clear support. This particular candle did not mitigate the support. So what are we looking at? We are looking at the market would surely reverse around this particular side. And that was what happened. It reversed, but I didn't take this trade in particular. I didn't take this trade. And that was how that very day happened. So going to that same Monday, New York session, at around 5:15 p.m., I saw the break of this level. This was the break I was waiting for in the beginning of New York session, maybe around 1 p.m., but refused to break. It refused to break around that time. And the market has already, normally my own process of trading gold is that the moment it is past 4 p.m. Nigerian time, I don't look for setups again. But this particular setup is very, 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 very obvious. It was obvious that it was going to hold. That was why I took this particular setup, and that was what happened. The moment I saw the break of this level, I was waiting for a retest. Now this level, it didn't break this level with good momentum, I wasn't going to enter. I was on the 15 minutes time frame. The moment I saw the momentum that it broke with, gave me a huge displacement and coming back to retest the level. Now, why did I take the trade as a whole? This particular support here. This particular support here. I need you to understand that anytime you see a support here and this particular week did not mitigate this support, I need you to understand that the market is still coming back to mitigate that support. I need you to understand that. So the moment I saw these 3 weeks did not mitigate this particular support, I was ready that if I see any mitigation of this support, the next candle I was going to enter. And that was what happened. The moment the candle mitigated it, volume came in and I caught a nice 6:1 RR. And that was how Monday went off. I exited this trade around 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. 8:30 p.m. And that was how we caught our first trade. Now I've transitioned into staying on the higher time frame, like I said, 30 minutes time frame. MSnR respects 30 minutes time frame so much. Now on this trade, why did I exit on this trade? I like obstructions. I like taking profit around obstructions. I would have held on to this trade to this particular psychological level, but no. I love using obstructions. And the moment I took profit, the market almost touched the psychological level and reversed and came back to retest that same level again. Can you see? Came back to retest that same level and started going. It was late already. If I didn't been, it wasn't too late, maybe probably around still that 6 p.m. I would have taken this small scalp again to this particular level, this particular psychological level. So that was how Monday we got a nice 6:1 RR. So the next day, that's Tuesday, after this Monday trade, for Tuesday, I didn't take any trade for Tuesday because on the 4-hour time frame it was choppy already. I noticed that the whole trade was in one range and I didn't take any trade on Tuesday. I waited for Wednesday. I was waiting for the break of this level. Anything outside this level, I wasn't ready to trade anything. I am supposed to take this trade also, but it did not tap me in that same Tuesday, and I decided not to take any trade that very day. So now what happened on Wednesday? On Wednesday, I was waiting for the break of this level, and on Wednesday, 2 a.m. around 2 a.m. Asian session, the market broke that level. The market broke the level, and at around 6:30 a.m. time manipulation. I always say this thing, time manipulation. I was waiting for time manipulation very early before London session. I knew that this market was going to come back to retest this particular level here. That is, our resistance becomes support. That's RBS. That is our RBS. And what I was waiting for was, I didn't enter immediately. This wasn't a buy limit. I didn't enter immediately. I waited for a candle closure outside the resistance becomes support on the 30 minutes time frame. I was waiting for that. And the moment I saw the candle closure, the next candle that mitigated the resistance again, I entered immediately. And that was how it gave us a nice 3:1 RR. Why did I exit at this point? Because of this particular support here. This particular resistance also. This particular resistance. That was why I exited the trade here. Now, after I exited this trade, at around 11:30 a.m., we saw a nice break of this level also. After I saw the nice break of the level, on the 15 minutes time frame, I was waiting for a retest. On the 15 minutes time frame, I was waiting for a retest. And the moment this particular candle came back for that retest with good momentum, can you see on the 15 minutes time frame, you will notice that the market actually came trying to come back with good momentum to retest and continue going. That was why I entered this market. And after it gave me a nice 1:1 RR, can you see? Gave me a nice 1:1, 1:2 1:2 RR. And before you know it, the market reversed and take me out on break even. Because the moment I saw the displacement, I moved my SL to break even. And the market came back, tapped me out, and still continue going lower. So that very Wednesday, we caught one trade, a 3:1 and 3:1 RR, and we lost a 1% on this particular trade. So going to Thursday, after that we didn't take any trade. Going to Thursday. Now this Thursday trade was a combination of both liquidity sweep and trend line liquidity. I was looking at trend line also. Now let's go to our line charts. Let's go to our line charts to confirm why I entered that trade. Now on the line charts, it is giving me a nice confluence that this particular level from the trend line is going to be respected. That's number one. That's confluence number one. Now on the 1 hour time frame, I saw a nice loan order block. So on the 1 hour time frame, my rules for order block is 1. I only mark the body candle. Can you see? I only mark the body candle. After I marked this body candle, I was also waiting for a liquidity sweep also, because I know that the market was going to sweep this particular liquidity. If it doesn't sweep this liquidity, it's going to sweep this particular liquidity here. So that was what I was waiting for. That was my two confluence, and I went back to my 30 minutes time frame. My 30 minutes time frame. This is my liquidity, and this is my support. And this is my resistance. That is my liquidity, and that is my resistance. Let me take these particular ones out. This is my liquidity that did not tap into this resistance, and this is my resistance as a whole. And when you see, what did you see here? The market came, tapped early buyers into the markets, tapped them, give them a little bit drawdown. What I was waiting for was one, a closure of that particular 30-minute candle under the resistance. And the moment I saw that closure, I went back to the 15 minutes time frame. I didn't even go back to the 15 minutes time frame. The moment I saw that closure, immediately I entered. And the moment I entered, volume kicked in. And gave me a nice 3:1 RR. I like allowing my trades to breathe. That's why I kept this particular SL at the top. But if I manage to put that SL back, like tighten it, it will give me approximately 5:1 RR. But I don't do that. I allow my trade to breathe. So it gave me a nice 4:1 RR on Thursday. This is a trade of London session at around 9 a.m. Yes, 9 a.m. Now after that, this trade was caught on the 30 minutes time frame. Now how did we catch this trade? Internal support. Now let's go to that 30 minutes time frame. That very day, the market was very ranging around internal range. The market was ranging around internal range. Let me take this particular trend line out. I will explain something here. Now, this is an internal support here, and this is an external support here. Now, why did I call this an external support? I was waiting for this external support to be tapped before I saw this internal support. Now this external support, what validates this external support to be valid? Because of this liquidity here did not tap into this support. We also have another liquidity that did not tap into this support. So I call them, whether you call it inducement or liquidity, it is anything you can call it. So far as it didn't tap into this support is still valid on the 30 minutes time frame. So after I saw this, I knew that before the market will come with momentum to tap into this, it will take time. It would take time. So I was only looking at this internal support, because this support now, this candle came, took out this liquidity, gave us reaction, and we are expecting it to come back and take it out again. Now this was why you saw those lines that I deleted here. I was also looking at this support as my take profits, but I took profit earlier at this particular range here. I didn't mean I waited. Probably I would have gotten maybe a nice 7:1 RR if I reduce my SL. But normally if I am taking MSnR, I used to put my SL under the next liquidity. So if the market comes and take me out here, I know it's a violated trade. That gives me that shows me that this particular trade is violated, and I'll be waiting for the next support. So that is how I use my SL. I don't just put SL anyhow. I put my SL where I know that probably if it gets there, it's an invalidation of that particular trade. So after that particular trade, we caught this particular trade, gave us a nice 4:1 RR on the 30 minutes time frame. So we get into this trade at around 4 p.m. New York session. Can you see the session? Let me pull up sessions so that you see New York session overlap with London session. So after this particular trade, the market became volatile. I said I didn't mean I held onto that trade. I would have caught a nice 12:1 RR, but that's not the main goal. We take what we can take and leave the rest for the traders that think they can. So I didn't mean I was actually so ready to do that. I'll be waiting for the break of this level. Maybe probably on the 15 minutes time frame, see a retest. Let's go to the 15 minutes time frame and see if it retested. Yes, it did, but did not get to this particular body candle for a retest. But if I was on sit, I would know that if it breaks with this momentum, I knew that I will only be using the wick to enter again and get another entry. So now, after all of this, what now happened at Asian session? This is a Friday, then Thursday trade. Now on Friday was very, very funny. Very, very funny. Now what I noticed about support and resistance on using MSnR is that most of the time, external support don't get tapped London session or New York session. Most of the time it gets tapped maybe late New York session, maybe around 5-6, and sometimes it gets tapped maybe around Asian session by 2 a.m. 1 a.m., 3 a.m. That is when external support get tapped. Now this is the external support I was waiting for before I tapped into this support. Don't forget, on the 30 minutes time frame, let's go back to the 30 minutes time frame so that you understand what I'm saying. This was the external support I was waiting for. This was the internal support that we're talking about. This is the external support I was waiting for with this double liquidity. Now if you look at here, from this particular place to this place here as a whole, it is liquidity. Do you notice all of that? 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all liquidities. And because I know that this particular support was going to hold for sure, my buy limit was here. So all those spikes that were happening, I was in the market already. And where my target was this particular level here. This was my target on this level. So that means holding on to this particular support gave me a high probability, and I got a nice 12:1 RR. 12:1 RR on the 30 minutes time frame. This trade gave me a nice trade, and this was a Friday trade. And when did this particular trade taps us in? Around 9 a.m. London session. Can you see? It taps us in 9 a.m. London session, and that is how we traded for this particular week, and we closed in profit. So let's count our trades that we catch. 1 TP, 2 TP, 1 SL21, 3-1, 4-1, and 5-1. So we took 6 trades and we won 5 trades and we lost 1 trade, and that is how we finished these trades in this week in profit. Now what I want to talk about here is, for people trading MSnR, I would advise that you don't go lower than 15 minutes time frame, and make sure you stick to 30 minutes time frame more, because 30 minutes time frame will give you a clear picture. Sometimes 1 hour time frame don't even gives you the kind of picture you want to see, but you see 30 minutes time frame. Based on my own back testing and forward testing, I've seen a lot of levels that hold on 30 minutes time frame. Sometimes you don't even need to go lower to the 15 minutes time frame. 30 minutes time frame says it all. So thanks for watching my trade recap, guys, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out.